All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome. I'm so happy you're here. Thanks for spending your Thursday daytime. I don't know, whatever time it is, noon, morning, whatever, with me. And I am so excited about this PrintMaker. This is just mind-blowing technology. It's been so much fun to work with. I'll tell you a little bit about it, but first I want to introduce myself just briefly. My name is Allie Dosdell, and I've been working for We Are Member Keepers for the past 11 years in different capacities. Currently, I manage their social media accounts, and I'm also their brand ambassador, their spokesperson. So I represent them on television, at trade shows, workshops, teaching opportunities, and things like that. So it's been so fun, and I'm a huge fan of We Are Member Keepers because of their innovation. They always strive to find the hole in the craft industry, what's missing, what do crafters want, what do they need, and they fill it with amazing innovation and creativity. So PrintMaker, let's talk about the PrintMaker. So this is a mini handheld slidable printer that you can print on multiple surfaces, anything that's like porous. So non-porous, slick surfaces, it will rub off on, but anything that's porous, you can basically print on: leather, fabric, paper, tissue. I'm trying to think what else we got. Wood. I mean, there's just a ton of options, and it's great because you can't fit a wood slice in your desktop printer, right? Or a baseball bat, a wood baseball bat, or a leather purse or wallet, right? But you can print on those items with the PrintMaker. So it just really opens up a whole nother level of creativity for crafting, for storage, for home, for office, all kinds of applications. So let me show you some of the cool accessories that you can purchase separately from the PrintMaker at Michael's. So there's, I recommend this magnetic board, and then these guides. These guides are just game changers. This really helps you so that you're printing straight as you go along. There's a 6-inch and a 12-inch. And depending on what kind of projects you're doing, you can pick what size you want. There's also printable ribbon, white cotton ribbon that you can print on. You can also print on other kinds of ribbon that you have at home. Also, there's printable washi tape. So that's really fun. 3 different sizes. Both of those come in 10 millimeter, 15 millimeter, and 25 millimeter. So you have those options. And as far as printing on those, I highly recommend these guides. These are the ribbon and washi tape guides. And basically what it is just some little wings that you attach based on the size of the washi tape or ribbon that you're printing on. So they come off of the side here. And they come all together in a kit. And then you just slide your ribbon or washi tape through there, and it just goes perfectly straight along there. I'll show you how that works in class, but I highly recommend that. Let me think. There's also some labels that you can print on. So anyway, lots of fun. So let's dive in real quick to talk about what we're making. We're going to make 5 different ornaments. And these are easy to repeat. So if you want to make like a batch of these, to hang on your tree, so you have the whole tree covered with them or whatever, or you want to make a set for gifting to someone else, these are great, easy to do that. So the first one is a cute little gift box that you can hang, and it's got, some little twine on it. And this is printable washi tape and ribbon on here. So that one's really easy. This is a lovely birch wood slice that we printed a little tree on, we printed on the ribbon. So that's really cute. And you can really get fun with these and personalize them. Here's another one. This is a photo. So let me just be clear. I did not print the photo with the PrintMaker. You can't print that large of an item. So I did go ahead and print this through my, a photo printer, and then it's on matte paper. So you can print on the matte paper. I would not recommend glossy for this. So I printed the details over here. That's where the fun part is that you can personalize, add dates, you can add names. So that's that one. Here is a cute little stuffed fabric candy cane. I made this fabric. So I printed the stripe on there. So that just, again, opens a world of possibilities for printing. Here's a really fun one. This is a little embroidery that we're going to do. And what I did is I used printing on this fabric as my template for embroidery. And then because it washes out, I was able to wash the template out, and then there's this beautiful embroidery left. Now, if you do want to add your printing and make it permanent on the fabric, I'm going to show you how, tell you how to do that, because you can do that. So, all right, here we go. We're going to get started with the first one. This is the little gift box. This is the one we're going to do first. And the PrintMaker comes, you can download a free app. And the devices that you can use are iPhones, Android phones, let's see, tablets, as long as I think they have to be Apple tablets. So iPads. You might be able to use certain Android tablets, but they probably need to be kind of the latest model. And then you can also use your desktop computer. You can't actually print from your desktop computer, but there's a web-based app that you can design in, and then you can log into your device app to print. So just so you know, that's available if you like to design on your desktop. So the app is free, and when you purchase the PrintMaker, it comes with a free year subscription, and each month you get a new collection. I'll just show you some of the ones that already are available. They're pretty adorable. So here's one of the more recent ones, and we'll just flip through, and each set comes with clip art, some patterns for repeatable printing on ribbon and washi tape, and then some customizable templates where you can change up the font and the text. I hope you can see that, so that you can add your own text if you want. So let's take a look at some of the holiday ones while we're here. The one that we're mostly going to work with is the Cozy and Bright. There are 3 or 4 different holiday collections. So lots of fun. This is really cute with little gingerbread men, sloths, bears, just lots of cute stuff. Again, you've got clip art, you've got patterns for repeated printing, and then you've got these customizable templates. So cute. So you are literally getting thousands of free clip art and templates and fun designs to work with. Again, a new collection each month. Also, you can create your own. So let me show you ones that I created for this class. Some of them I used from different kits and then just kind of customize them to fit this class. So let's just go through a few of the things you can do here. You have your create button. This takes you to your canvas for creating your own designs or editing the ones that you have in your free collections. So let's see, let me tilt my phone so you can see. There's the canvas. So if you want to extend that canvas, all you need to do is just push that canvas button there, pull that out, and you can make it as long or as short as you'd like. And then here in the tools section, you have opportunities to add custom shapes, lines, rectangles, circles, ellipses, triangles. You can add text and type in your own text. Here, I'll just add my name so you can see. And then once you've done that, just tap it to select it, and you can change the color. You can change the font. All right, tons of different fonts in there that are available for you. And then you can also go back in and edit your text. You can arrange the layers. You can align it, middle, center, left, right, wherever you want to put it. So that's kind of a nice feature. And then let's see, what else can we do with the text? Oops, I didn't mean to add that second one. We'll delete that. And we'll just do that again. So anyway, so you've got a lot of options. You can bold it, you can do italicize. So there's a lot of options available. All right, so I'm going to exit out of there. And you can save it if you want to your own personal collection, or you don't have to. In this case, I don't want to. I have a couple personal collections there that you can see. And then here's the store. So you can use your product code, and this is where you get all your free designs. Now, once your subscription expires after 1 year, then anything that you created and saved in your own collections will carry over. So you can keep that. If you want to keep access to all of these free collections, you'll have to resubscribe. But here's my tip. Go inside, pull them out, open them up, create in the Create app, and save them to your own collection, your favorites, and then you'll keep them. So, there you go, little tip. Here's help. There's a ton of things available. There's videos, warranty information, how to install the ink, contact, the entire user manual is available as well. So all of that's there. So settings here shows you your ink levels. I have had my PrintMaker since July and I use it almost every day. And I have printed a ton of stuff. So I'm printing like tons and tons of ribbon, you know, and tons of patterns and things every day. So my ink level is now down, you know, below half, but I use it way more than I think most people would. This tells you if it's charged or not, if it's connected. There's your diagnostics for troubleshooting your printing, and there's your account information. So everything's there. Now, if you need any additional assistance, there is a free class on the Michael's YouTube channel that's called Introduction to the Printmaker. So that'll go through all the basics, troubleshooting questions, connecting, all kinds of things. So I recommend checking that out if you have any more questions about how to use it. Okay. So,
hey, Allie, sorry to interrupt.
No,
we have a couple
that's
of
great.
questions.
Okay.
So will an older version of the PrintMaker work for this project?
Okay, that is a good question. So there is a different printer that we released earlier. That is not the same as the PrintMaker, so it will not work with this particular app. It has its own app, so that's a whole separate thing. So anything that you're learning in this class is only applicable to the PrintMaker. The other one is it's a whole different product with a different app. So good question.
Okay, and then the next question is the app included with the purchase of the printer?
Yes, it is. Well, it is, but it's free. So, I mean, anyone can download it, right? From either the Google Store or the what is it, Apple Store. Anyone can download it, but it will connect with the PrintMaker. So it's
and
totally
you
free.
Get that 3-year subscription with your purchase?
It's a 1-year subscription for free. Yes.
Oh,
and there will
one
be
for free. Okay.
Correct. Yeah, there will be a product code in the box. So don't throw any of those papers away that you get when you open it up, because you want to make sure you find that product code, and that will give you access to a whole year of all these collections for free. So, all right.
Great.
Any other
and
questions?
then do you happen to know how much it is for the yearly subscription after that first year?
I want to say it's either $24.99 or $29.99,
awesome.
but it's under $30. Okay, well worth it for sure. Yeah,
you'll worth it.
Yeah, you'll awesome. Get more than your money's worth out of that for sure.
Okay, thanks so much.
All right. You're welcome. No problem. Good questions. All right, so we're going to go ahead and start making our first ornament. So I'm going to go back into my collections here. And we're going to start by printing this ribbon. So I use this cute little pink plaid. And so I'm going to pull that up. All right. And you can see that cute little design right there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to wake up my printer. It goes to sleep on its own once you turn it on. So it saves power, but you just hit that go button and it'll wake it up. Then I'm going to grab my ribbon guide right here. And I'm going to cut me some of the 15mm cotton ribbon. We're going to do a pretty long piece here so we can make a bow. All right. And then what I'm going to do is just weave this down in and back up the other side. Okay. So now this printer will print as long as your hand keeps moving. Okay, if you use the infinity feature. So I'm going to show you how to do that. And so make sure your printer is on and awake before you hit the print button. There's a little print button down here in the corner. And then right here, there's repeatable printing. You're going to turn that on. It's off now. Now it's on. And then that gives you options. You can select how many times you print it, all the way up to 10, or you can just do infinite. I like to do infinite because that basically just stops when I stop my hand. So now I'm going to send that to the printer, and it is going to chirp and flash and tell me that it's receiving that graphic or that design. And then it's ready to go. So all I need to do is pick up my printer. Just make sure you've unlocked the bottom. Okay, so you just rotate that to lock and unlock. And then you just place it in here in this guide, push the go button, and you're going to hold on to this end of your ribbon over here. Push your go button. When that turns green, you're ready to print. Okay, now the trick with this guide is you're not holding on to the printer, you're going to move the whole guide. So your guide is moving along and printing. We're going to go all the way to the end off the screen. Okay, so we've got that. All right, so you're going to notice also that there's a little bit here that doesn't get printed on because that's where the printer starts. And then, you know, the end, I messed up a little bit because I kind of picked it up off of the pad here, but I would recommend going along a solid straight surface with no bumps in it. So what you can do if you don't want to waste that is you can just flip this around and put this through this way. And then you can print on the part that isn't printed, because here's the cool thing is that your printer, okay, now it's already got that design in there and it's still in there until I'm done printing. That same design is still in there. So I don't need to hit send to printer again. All right, so if you'll notice, there's a little light right here, and that shows me exactly where this is going to start printing. So I am going to line the edge up of the printing here, right with that light, okay? And that's where it's going to start. So I'm just going to hit go. And it's going to turn green, and then I'm just going to slide it all the way to the end. Okay. Now I didn't line that up perfectly because you can see a little overlapped right there because it's a little hard to see with all of my lights shining down here for this class, but you'll be able to get that perfectly aligned. So that doesn't waste any ribbon. And then you're ready to make your bow. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut these ends at an angle. And then we'll go ahead and we'll make our bow. So I'm going to actually use a tool that's not listed in the class description, but it is available at Michael's, and I highly recommend it. It's amazing. And it's called the Works All-in-One tool. And you can make a million things with this, but right now I'm just going to make a bow. So you've got these pegs in here, and this determines the width of the bow. So if you take a look at this bow, it's about 3 inches across, maybe. So we're going to just kind of use the measurements here on my board and go, oh, let's go a little more than 3. So we're going to do that, have 4 little lines in between there. And then we're just going to wrap around. And then what I like to do is I like to go under. And then I just tie a knot right here. And then, you know what? I didn't do that quite right. Hold on a second. We cross first, my bad. Then we go around. And then we tie a knot right here. Okay. And you know, you can make your bow however works best for you. This is just an easy way that I like to do it. And then you've got, you know, I could have gone longer if I had a longer length of ribbon. I could do more loops if I wanted to, but this has now got 2 loops. And we'll just kind of twist and adjust and work that around. All right. Now you can use wired ribbon for this as well if you want. So for printing. All right. So now I'm going to show you how to put this box together. Let me put my tool away. All right, so these little gift boxes, they're, oh, I don't know, about 3 inches square, and they're just so cute. These are great for gifting jewelry, but they're also great for making little ornaments. All right, so I've gone ahead and printed 2 lengths of ribbon already. And these are, let's see, how long are these? 9 inches, I think. So we're just going to use these to make the crisscross, and I've got a glue gun here that I'm going to use to attach these to the box. So I'm just gonna use hot glue for this. Whoops. Hold on, get that going. There we go. All right, so we're just gonna make sure that's centered. Pop that on there. Have another little dot right on top. Also, glue dots work really well for this. as well. So, you know, there's other adhesive options, something that dries quickly and sticks easily. Okay, so then we'll do another one. Put that over. And we're just kind of trying to make these meet in the middle. And these will be covered up so you won't be able to see them, see the seams or anything. The bow is going to cover them up in the middle. But there. There. Now with the ribbon, so the printing surface for the PrintMaker is about 5/8 of an inch high. So if you are using this 15 millimeter ribbon is the actual height of the printer. So that's as high as tall as it will print. So you can fully cover this 15 millimeter ribbon. Now, if you're going to print on the 25 millimeter ribbon, you just need to be aware that whatever the color ribbon is going to show through. So it's going to be more of, let's see, something like this. Okay, this is washi tape, but that's what it would look like. So it would have a white background and then you have a cute design on there, just for your information. All right, so then we're going to grab some twine. Let's see, where did I put my twine? There it is. All right, just some pink twine. You can use whatever color twine you want, and we'll just cut a little bit of that, maybe 8 inches or so. And then we're going to just kind of run this underneath. You know, I think it might work better. My other one, I don't think I used the hot glue first. I put the twine underneath. So I'm going to go ahead and just tie this on. And with twine, I just like to hold the ends together and feed them through like that. So, all right, we'll just trim that. And then we'll hot glue this bow down right to the middle. Oops, I don't want to go through. It's always like that at first when you put a new stick in. Just put a new stick in. So, all right, let me get this adjusted again before I glue it down. Oops. Oh, that came undone. Let's try that one more time. There we go. Okay, we'll just slide that over. And then when we glue it, we'll make sure that we include that twine in the glue. I'm just going to hold that for a second so it can cool before I start adjusting. Anyway, you get the idea, and then you can trim, you know, your lengths further, your ends further. But there's the idea. So cute. And of course, I forgot to put the washi tape on. You guys, I'm sorry, it's Monday. But anyway, let me just show you how the washi tape works because it's self-adhesive. So you could just do this. You could add the washi tape. The 25 millimeter is perfect to fit on the sides of that lid. But let me show you, this is self-adhesive. So once you print on it, it's just like printing with the ribbon, exactly the same. And then you just pull off the back and you tape it on, and it's easy to use. One tip about using the washi tape is that you'll want to straighten it as much as possible because it's paper. It's going to want to stay in the shape that it's in. So I just kind of use the side of my workspace and kind of run it opposite the direction that it wants to go in, back and forth sort of, until it's pretty flat. Sometimes I can, you know, kind of use my fingers to go against, but the flatter you get it, the better results you'll have. Another tip when you're using the PrintMaker is you do not want to use any pressure downward. You don't need to push down on it at all. All you need to do is hold it and move it. So if you're pushing down, you're going to find like the printing quality is not very good. You're going to see streaks and bumps and, you know, just misprints. It's not going to look very nice. So that's one tip when you're printing on the ribbon and the washi tape. definitely don't push down or anything, just slide across. That's all you need to do. So there's our first one. And now we're going to work on the wood slice. This one's really fun and easy. So these are Birchwood slices. I think they come in, individual packs, but you can buy as many as you want. I did go ahead and drill a 3/8 inch hole before I started printing on it. Just so you know, let me show you what that looks like. So they come like this, and then I drilled a hole, 3/8 of an inch. You could do up to 1/4. And then what I did is I also cleaned up a little bit that, of the bark, just so it's not quite sticking out so much before I was ready to use it. So it went from that to that. So you can see that's just a little bit smoother around the outside. Okay. And so I went ahead and got it started just for the sake of time. But here's my recommendation is take a scrap piece of paper, take your wood slice and put it on the paper and trace around it and then cut it out. And I did 3 or 4 of these until I got this exactly right, just to test it on before I actually print on the wood, because you don't want to waste your wood slices. So you want to be 100% confident in what you're doing before you start printing on the wood. Now, the trick to this is to use the guide so that your printing is straight, and to also use this ruler here as kind of a centering feature. So what I did is I centered on the hole here, okay, and I used the 2-inch mark as my centering mark. All right, and so I just placed that 2-inch mark right here, and that's kind of how I centered everything. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So let me grab my phone and go into the app, and we'll go back to my collection here. And the first thing I printed was this cute little berry from the Cozy and Bright collection. The second thing I printed was this little snowman pattern, and it's the same pattern. All I did was open it and print it from the Cozy and Bright. The third one I did was from Cozy and Bright as well. It's this little fa la la. And again, just open printed. And then the last one I'm going to print is also from fa la la, and it's this pretty green pattern. Now, what I did for this one is it actually is only about between 3/4 and 7/8 of an inch long. So I just copied, you'll be able to see how I'm grabbing those. I just copied them. Okay, and that's a feature that you can see right there. Let me pull this up. It's right there. So you can copy, you can flip, you can rotate, whatever you want to do to it. But I just copied it until I filled up, about 2 1/4 inches, because that's how long I wanted it to be on here to make the bottom of the tree. Okay, so in this case, when I'm printing, let me wake up my printer first. I don't want to repeat, okay? And then so here's what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the one that I printed above as kind of how I center my ruler. I'm going to move it down so the top of this space here in the ruler in the guide is right aligned at the bottom of that part that I already printed, okay? And then this is 2 1/4 inches. So I'm going to center it out from here, okay? So there's 1 inch, 2 inches. So it's got to start between, around the 1 and 3, but since it's 1/4, I'm going to go 1/8 out from the 1 and 1/8 out from the 3, okay? So I'm going to start printing at 7/8, okay? So it's just 1/8 shy of the 1 inch mark. I hope that makes sense. There might be a way for you that works better to do that, but for me, it works to use this as a centering guide. So I'm going to start my printing at 7/8, and that's where this fantastic light comes in handy. So we're going to turn off repeatable printing. I'm going to send it to the printer. It chirps at me and flashes to let me know it's getting that design. And then it goes solid and it's ready to go. So I'm going to place this in here. See that light right there? I'm going to line that light up right there at 7/8. It's a little hard to see on camera, but I can see it enough. And then I'm going to push that. When it turns green, I'm just going to slide across. Okay. Oh, I completely messed that up. Oh, you know why? Because I missed. I got it right at the 3/8 instead of the 7/8. Let's do, anyway, you get the idea. So when you do it correctly, again, guys, I'm sorry, it's Monday. When you do it correctly, right here, you'll see if I lined it up right at the 7/8 and the light's right there, and then it goes across, it'll fit perfectly. Okay, so you can see that right there. When I line it up at the correct place at 7/8, then it'll print right across perfectly. Okay, so that's the idea. Now that's why you use this to test it. Now I tested it yesterday like 3 or 4 times just to make sure I get it, but hadn't done it again today. So that was my fault. But here's what we're going to do is I'm going to show you how to print this bottom one too. And I'm going to show you how to make that, because you can make that on your own. All right, so let's go back to home and we're going to hit create. Okay, so this is like brand new canvas. We're going to make our own thing. Here's tools. We're going to go to the shape and we're going to select rectangle. So we're going to pull this out because we want it to be a little bit bigger than that. So I'm going to make it just shy of 5/8. Okay, and I'm going to line it up exactly at the edge there. And then I'm going to align it in the middle. So I hit align and then I hit middle and it moves it right into the middle there. Okay, so now I want to change that color. So let's see, let me select that one more time. So I'm going to go in here and change the fill color to a pretty red. Let's do that deep red there. And then if you want to add a different color stroke, you can, like if you want to do orange or yellow, but I just want it all to be red. So we're going to do that. Okay, so that's now ready. So I'm going to go ahead, let me dock this. It's always a good idea to put this back in the base and home base when you're not using it. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit print. And we've got the printable, repeatable printing off. So I'm going to send it to the printer and that's going to receive it. And I'm going to line this up so that it's centered. We're going to pretend like that last green one is centered, guys. And then I'm going to line the 0 up right at the bottom of this green one. Okay. And then I'm going to place the printer right in there. So you can see it's going to start printing it at 0 here because I've lined it up all the way at the end of this. Hit that. It's going to turn green. Right. And there's our tree base. And we'll just imagine that this is perfectly aligned. Okay. So there's the idea for that. I also printed this ribbon to say Merry Christmas. You could add a date, Merry Christmas 2021. You could add, you know, your last name, for Love the Dosdals or whatever you want to do. And I also added some kind of rustic twine in there together to give it a little more rustic feel, but that's fun. And you can do whatever you want. You can print anything you want on a wood slice, you know, Merry Christmas 2021, Love the Dosdals, you know, whatever you want, or Merry Christmas Granddad and Grandmom, or whatever you want to say. So lots of options there with that one. Okay, moving on, we're going to do this cute little photo ornament. Okay, Grandma and Grandpa always love to get a photo. So this is actually my 12-year-old back in 2012. So she was probably 3 at this point. Anyway, so super cute picture, but just wanted to have that fun memory in there. So what I used for this one is I used some wood keychains. So these are just blank, you know, nice thin wood keychains. And I just took off the keychain to save that for another project because it's already got a hole right in there. So that makes it really easy. And what I did is I used some chalk paint and painted it white. And the reason why I like to use the chalk paint is because it's matte. And so it receives the print better. If you use a glossy acrylic paint, you're going to have problems with that printing kind of wiping and sliding and smudging. So I recommend a matte chalk paint. Okay, so that's the idea. Okay, sorry, I'm looking at comments. Yes, you're right. If I extend the green, if I just kept printing across here, then we could definitely make this one work. That's a really good idea. All right. Love it. Yes, we just happy little accidents, right? We're like Bob Ross. There are no mistakes, just happy little accidents. All right. So I went ahead and painted one of these. So we can go ahead and make this. Okay, and so what I did is this is the side that the photo goes on. So you don't need to paint the whole side if you don't want to. Just make sure you get the edges really well because you're going to cover that up. All right. And so what you can do is you can actually just print these wherever you like to print your photos, but make sure you use matte print paper. I print at home most of the time, and I like to use Photoshop, to kind of resize and crop and stuff. So I went ahead and did that first, but you guys can use printers like Costco or wherever you print your photos, and then just use matte photo paper. So we're going to print this little snowflake, and we're going to print my daughter's name and the year that this picture was taken, and we're going to just add it right next to her. So I'm going to go back to home. I don't need to save that one. And we're going to go in here, and we're going to start with the little snowflake. All right. And I'm going to add that, right here. We're going to try to get that pretty close. So I'm going to use my guide, and I'm going to use the 0 here. So when you put your printer in here, 0 is exactly where your printing is going to start. So I am going to, and if you notice, this design is at the bottom of the canvas. I know it's kind of hard to see. Whoops. No, I don't want to talk to you, Siri. Sorry. It's kind of hard to see, but it's at the bottom and the left margin. So I just need to keep that in mind when I'm placing my guide, that the printing is going to be at the bottom right here at the left margin. All right. So I think I want that snowflake to start right about there. Okay. And actually, let's go ahead and add the magnetic base now. So when I'm not printing with ribbon and washi tape, I always use my magnetic base. Let's slide that in. So we can hold this down and it'll stay in place. All right, so I want my snowflake right kind of at the level where her head is, and then just over a smidge right about there. Okay, so let's go ahead, send that to the printer, and we're not going to repeat that. We're just going to print it once. I'm going to chirp at me and then go solid when it's ready. Place it right in there, and you can see that light. And then we're just going to hit go when it turns green, ready to slide. Okay, cute little snowflake. Now we're going to add my daughter's name and the date. So I'll go back into my collection here, and there's her name and the date. All right, so here's a tip. You notice that when I pulled this up, it's not the same font. If that happens, that's usually just a glitch in the app. So what I do is I close out the app, and then I just reopen it. Make sure it's not open in the background. Make sure you fully close that out. Go back in. Whoops, grabbed the wrong one. My bad. And that one. And that usually, see there, it fixes itself. Okay, so that's a really good tip if you ever run into problems. If the app's not working properly, close it out, reopen it, and generally that whatever's going on fixes itself. All right, so now here's where we're going to use our centering feature again. So this is about 3/4 of an inch long. Okay, so I'm going to look here and see 3/4 of an inch. Now, where do I need to start printing so that it's basically centered? So I'm going to scoot that over closer and make sure the top of this is aligned with the bottom of that snowflake design. Okay, so there we go. I'm just going to start printing right there at the 0. So let's send this. And it's going to chirp. And then go solid. And we'll hit go. Okay, so there we go. We can personalize that. Now, the way I cut this out is with this. These are also available at Michael's. They're called clear cut punches. And that's because you can see through and perfectly align whatever you want to punch out. So see how I can just kind of move that paper around because it's magnetic. I'm going to go down just a bit so we can make sure to leave enough room for that hole in the top. Look at that cute face. All right, and then this lines up right on top. That snaps in place, and then it just punch, and then there's my picture. Okay. So, and then what I did is I cut out another circle. This is 2 inches, and this circle was 2 1/4 inches. And then I just adhered those together. And then I placed them on here. Now what I did for this is I took a hole punch and went in and just punched again so that it punched all the way out so that you have your hole. Okay. So now let's talk about the back of this, because check that out. Okay. You want to have a nice finished look. So we're going to print on the back of this on the paint. All right. So let's go ahead and do that. And here's an easy tip for when you're printing on something that's raised up like this, that's dimensional, that's kind of small. I usually add this, something there to just kind of raise up my guide and hold it in place. So let's go back and find that cute little candy cane pattern. This one right here. We're going to send that to the printer and we want to repeat that. And I think 2 times is plenty because this is not a very big surface. Let's just go with 3 just to be sure though. So I'm going to go ahead and send that to the printer. And then this time I want to make sure that I've got my 0 off, right to the edge. Okay, so that it starts printing right at the edge. And we're just going to kind of go up here. And this just kind of helps to make sure that my guide stays balanced and straight. All right, and then we're going to put this in here. Wait for it to turn green and go across. So cute. Okay, and then we're going to move this down right to the bottom of that previous print. And then again, we don't need to hit go or anything, or we don't need to hit, send because it's still in there. We can just keep going. Right. And then last one down here at the bottom. Do it one more time. Super cute. Now, this one, I didn't leave any space between them, but you could do that. I did that on this one. I left a little bit of space in between. Just as long as you know exactly, exactly how much space you're leaving, that'll work fine. Now, as far as this goes, because it's washable, let's see if I have my paper towels. Hold on one second. I'm just going to reach over, and that you can wipe that right off of this magnetic surface because it is wipeable. So, and this is non-porous. This is non-porous, so it comes right off. And I'm going to grab. Sorry, excuse me for reaching. Just a disinfectant wipe or a baby wipe, something like that will help to get it off as well. So no problem. And just dry it up. And there you go. All right. And then lastly for this, I added some ribbon. I printed on both sides. So we printed on ribbon before, but once you print on the one side, flip it over and stick it back through. Okay, so you actually can print on both sides. So you have fully printed ribbon, which is really cool. So I did that with the 10 millimeter. I tied a knot and then I just covered that up with a cute little bow with hot glue, or you can use a glue dot. And there's your ornament. You can make a series of these for all the grandkids. That would be really fun and a great gift. Okay, so let's move on. We're going to make our fabric candy cane now. All right, so let me see. I'll pull this out for you. So this is where your printable template comes in handy. So I created a printable candy cane template for you guys, so you can use that. And so you can just click in there. Let's see let me just look at some questions here. Where and what brand is the magnetic board? This is a PrintMaker brand. This is We Are Member Keepers. It's available at Michael's. It's part of the PrintMaker collection. Also, these 2 guides, there's a 6-inch and a 12-inch magnetic guides, and they magnetize down. So that really helps to hold your projects in place. So those are all available at Michael's. All right, so this cotton fabric is also available at Michael's. It just comes in this little 18 by 21 inch scrap here. It's just cotton, 100% cotton material. My recommendation is to use material that doesn't have a sheen on it. That works best for the PrintMaker. Okay, so I've already gotten this started, and let me show you what I did for this candy stripe, because this is actually not a design that's available. But what I did, let's see, did I save it? Yes. Okay. So what I did is I created a rectangle. So there's my red rectangle and I filled it with red. And then I went back, and if you look in the shapes, let's see, let's go here, tools, shapes, you can make a line. So I went ahead and made a line, and then I turned it white. I filled it with white, and then I copied it and just moved them down to the edges. So I basically made my own candy stripe. Okay. So there's a lot of options available for your own, creating your own designs. Really fun. And then I just placed it up at the top and like that. So all the way across so that I could do it repeated and so that it was the right size. Now, one tip, you want to make sure that your design, if you're going all the way to the end and you're creating something, make sure that it extends past the edge of the canvas. Because if you put it right at the end of the canvas, once in a while, you'll get a little black line in there. I'm not sure why it does that. We've tried to figure that out with our app builder, and we haven't figured it out yet. We're still working on it, but just make sure your design, if you're creating one, extends past, and then you won't get that black line. All right. So there we go. Now we're going to line this up. Let's see, send it to the printer, and we're going to repeat that. We're just going to put it on infinite. Okay. So send that to the printer. Let me grab my 12-inch guide. And what I do for this is there's a couple of little plastic lines here, in the plastic. I don't know if you can see them, but I just use those as my guide, and I line the top one up on that top line. And that's how I know exactly where to place them so that they're totally spaced the same. Okay. So you can do it however you'd like, use your ruler on the board or whatever you want to do. Okay. So that's ready. And I'm just going to go across. There you go. Now, if you want to, you can place paper towel or scrap paper underneath here so that you don't print on your magnetic board. It's totally up to you. I just do that and then wipe it later. So we're going to go ahead and just finish this all the way across. Now I did, through trial and error, discover that the candy stripes, when you make the candy cane, look best if they're not exactly at a 45-degree angle to the fabric. For some reason, that just looked better. I don't know why. Maybe that's what we're used to seeing. But so I didn't do a perfect 45-degree angle. It's a little shallower than that. So I'm just going to keep going until we finish. And I think this fabric square that I'm using, I cut is about 8 by 8 or 9 by 9 right in there, just so you know what size you need for the printable template for the candy cane. Okay. And I'll just keep going. And now I think one more should do it, just this last one. Okay. All right. So let me wipe that up. And then dry it off. And we'll move on. Okay, and I'm going to move this out of the way. And we'll talk about how to make this permanent for a minute. Now you'll notice I just printed this, right? If I rub my finger on there, nothing's coming off. So it isn't going to smudge on the fabric. It's permanent in there, and that, like, you can't smudge it, right? But if you want to be able to wash it, let's say you're printing on a t-shirt or a onesie or some socks or something that you want to be able to wash. Oh, I grabbed the wrong thing. We're not painting it. You're going to use a fabric sealer, okay? And there's a few different kinds available. This one is available at Michael's. I think there might be another one or two available at Michael's too, but this is Mod Podge fabric, and it basically, you can use it as a glue to glue things on, appliques or whatever, or you can also use it as a sealer and finisher. So you'll just follow the directions for this and kind of paint it on with either a foam brush or a fabric brush. Let it dry, and you have to let it sit for a certain amount of time before you wash it, but that will make it permanent. So you can wash whatever you print on there and it won't come out. So that's another fun thing. I know people like to do fabric napkins, and customize them and things like that. So Anyway, that's the trick there. So what we're going to do is fold this over, fold it in half with the right sides facing together. And then you'll take your template. I printed it on cardstock, so it's just a little heavier to use. And you could probably get 2 out of this if you want to do 2. But what I do is I take a pencil over here, and then I just trace around this template right onto the fabric. And imagine making something like this, creating your own pattern and customizing it with a child's name, with the birthday message, you know. So that's the cool thing about this printer is you can completely personalize things, customize them. Like, I mean, you can make your own fabric for your, you know, for someone to make something for them, you know, daughter, granddaughter, whatever, print on it. Okay, so go ahead, we've got that. And so what I did is I went ahead and I stitched around exactly on this pencil line. And you're going to want to do a tight stitch. Okay, so I've already gone ahead and done that. Really tight, close together stitches. So once you've done that, then I trim around with my fabric scissors and I leave about 1/4 inch and go all the way around. And then at these curves here, I like to cut in little scoops. Like, I don't know what you call them, just little, you know, little semicircles. And that just helps so that when you fill this up with stuffing and the curves look better. There isn't so much fabric bunched together, so your curve is a little nicer. Be sure to leave the bottom open here, and that's where you're going to stuff your stuffing in. Now, one tip for turning it inside out. Oh, I think I dropped it. Did I can't remember if I picked it up or not. Hold on a second.
Is it all right if I ask some questions while you're?
Oh, definitely. Yes.
Okay. So we have, is it easier to print on the box or do it on a piece of paper? So I'm assuming like while the box is flat, maybe.
You mean this box?
I think so. It was just a general question, like, is it easier to print it on the box or on a piece of paper?
Okay, so that's a good question. So if you're talking about this box has a little bit of sheen to it. And so I experimented with it and it doesn't take the printing very well. It kind of smudges a little bit. So that's why I printed on the washi tape and taped it on because the box has a little sheen to it. So it just smudged a little bit. My guess is if I had waited long enough, if I had waited like 24 hours and allowed that ink to really set and maybe even involved a little bit of heat, like a hairdryer or something, it might have been permanent, but I didn't want to take the time to do that. So I just used the washi tape on there. But I did find that anything that like paint, like if you do use acrylic paint or, you know, something that's kind of more, got more shine to it, if you wait long enough and use a little heat, generally it eventually kind of sets, you know, almost permanent or permanent. So that's just another tip as well. I did have my stylus tool. It's a long, thin, blunt tool, and I think I dropped it on the floor. Oh, I did. There it is. Anyway, but my point is when you're turning this inside out, a knitting needle works great, or a crochet hook, or anything that's long and thin and blunt, not sharp, for helping to turn it inside out. So when you turn it inside out, then you're going to go ahead and stuff it. And I used polyfill. Every crafter, I think, needs to have a bag of this in their stash somewhere. And I just stuffed it with the polyfill, and then I stitched up the bottom. Then I added, this is embroidery floss. I just stitched this on and stitched on a little bow that I printed. So any other questions about this one or any other ones that we've already done? So the ink cartridge, I see that in there. How long does the ink cartridge last? So it depends on how much you print, but you get 3 colors, and each color has 1,000 inches of printing. So that is a ton of printing. I mean, it lasts and lasts and lasts. So, and then you can also buy replacement ink cartridges. I believe those are on michaels.com, and I'm not 100% positive, but I think so. Yes. Okay.
I linked them in
Perfect.
the chat too.
Thank you. Okay.
We did have a question. What type of fabrics are best to print on?
Okay.
I would assume anything that's not super glossy, like a vinyl would be a tougher one, but you know, porous.
Yeah. Yep. Anything
anything.
porous, not glossy, no chintz, to it. And the tighter the weave, probably the better the print's going to be. If you've got like some kind of, burlap or, something that's really loose in the weave, it's not going to look as good, obviously. But so my favorite is cotton, just because that's really, it's, like matte cotton, not a chintzy cotton. So, yeah.
And
Other
then we had
questions?
one more question,
Uh-huh.
or actually two. The first one is, how do I know how much room or space that I'll need to give the machine to start printing?
Okay, so that's good. Good question. All right, so let me show you. And we definitely thought of that. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and put this down here. So can you see that there's a little light right there as my finger goes through? Where that light begins is exactly where your printing is going to begin. Okay, so wherever you want your printing to begin, you're going to use that light to line it up right there. It's very precise. It's very precise. So it's easy. It's like you don't have to think about it. The other thing that helps is if you have these magnetic guides, both of them have a 0 mark. On your printer, if you line it up exactly at the edge of this alignment guide, that's exactly where your printing is going to start. So you can line that 0 mark up on wherever you want it to start printing, which is the same place as where that light starts. Okay. Does that make sense? Hopefully that helps.
Yeah,
Good question.
perfect.
Okay.
And then the other, I guess we have a couple more questions coming in. So we also have, how long does it take the ink to dry?
Now, if you're printing on a porous surface like paper, fabric, it's going to dry instantly. Like you saw me, I printed and then I rubbed my finger across the fabric and it didn't smudge. So it dries instantly on non-porous surfaces. Something like this box that has a little more gloss or sheen to it, it will not be dry right away. So that's where I said you're going to want to wait, for I don't know, several hours. I usually just kind of check it with my finger and see if anything comes off on my finger. Use a little bit of heat to set that. But that's yeah.
Cool. And then we also have a question, can you print on glass? Now that's a non-porous surface.
That is a non-porous surface. I have tried that. Glass does not work well. It's way too glossy. Yeah, unfortunately.
Thank you.
So yeah, good question.
And then instead of using Mod Podge, can I simply use a hot iron to set the ink?
Nope, that won't work. We've tried that. We tested it, and you do need to use the fabric sealer for sure. If you're going to wash it like in a washing machine, definitely.
Yep.
Or hand wash it even. Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you.
Another idea is if you want to do something transparent on some glass or acrylic or something, is it does take let's see, if you print on a transparency, a printable transparency, the ones that you can run through your printer, that will be permanent on there. So you could print on a transparency and then somehow, add that to the glass or to the acrylic, whatever you want to do. So that's one trick for something transparent that actually takes, if you use a printable transparency. And I think HP has those. I don't think I mentioned, but we partnered with HP. So this has Hewlett-Packard technology. And so any of the HP products that are printable, like, labels, transparencies, whatever, you can use this on. So, all right, last one. Let's do this last one. Super cute little embroidery. This is kind of popular right now, these little embroidery ornaments. All right, so let's grab that overhead shot again if we can, and I will walk you through how to do this. So this is the same fabric that we used before.
So I'm having a little trouble. I
Oh.
don't see the video there.
Oh
so
my gosh. Okay, hang on a second.
Let's see.
Something happened with that. Okay. All right. So
okay, we have video and I
we
can
have
switch
video.
over
Okay.
now. Yes.
All right. Let me
Perfect,
get this set up again. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened there. And we are almost out of time. So that means probably my phone is just about dead. Okay. That's good enough. All right, we'll go with that. Okay, so fabric. So this is a 3-inch mini embroidery hoop, and it comes in a, at Michael's, I think they're individual. You can just, buy them. They're super cheap. They're really fun. So I went ahead and cut a 3-inch circle out of my scrap paper to practice on. Okay, same thing, just practice on it. And so I went ahead and made my design, and then I just added that to the fabric, traced around it with a pencil so I know exactly where my surface is. So you can see, hopefully, anyway. And then what I did is I folded this paper or the fabric in half both ways and marked the center. And that just helps me to line everything up right in this circle. And I made sure that the circle was right in the center. Okay. So I hope that makes sense. But so I'm going to go ahead and grab the mat again, and we're going to use this guide for this one because this is a small surface area. And place that on top. And then I've already gotten it started just for the sake of time. So again, I'm using the centering where I use my 2-inch mark as my center mark. Okay, so that's kind of where I'm doing it. So I'm just kind of eyeballing where the center is there, placing it just at the very end of this Mary that I already printed and making sure that it's lined up nicely. All right, and then the next thing we're going to do is print Christmas in 2021. So I'm going to go back in here, and these are designs that I created on my own using the fonts available and the colors that are available. So is this going to switch over? Okay, so we've still got that glitch with the font. So we'll close that out, open that up again, go here, find Christmas. That should, there we go. Okay, so I know that is about 2¼ inches long. So I need to make sure again that I start, there's 2, and we're going to start 1/8 over because we put 1/8 on each side. So we're going to start right there. And this time I'm going to do it right. You guys watch me. I am totally going to do this right, even though it's Monday. Okay, so send to printer. We're not going to repeat that. Okay, so see my light there. It's going to start right there. Okay, it's 7/8. Here we go. Hitting the go button, guys. Look at that. Okay, see, that's how we do that. Okay, and then we're going to do the next one, which is the date. So we're going to line this up again. The 2 is going to go right down the middle and right at the bottom of Christmas. And then I'm going to go back in here and find my date. 2021, right there. Oh, I'm not sure why it does that. Okay, let's pop that out again. I probably need to go. Here's a tip, is you need to always make sure that you're running the most current version of the app. So if you notice things like that, what I need to do is I need to go back in and make sure I have the update, the latest update. So that's another tip. All right, so that is just between 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch. So that's 5/8. Okay, so I just need to center that on 5/8. So I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So we're going to line it up just past there. 2, 4, 5. There we go. Okay.
So we do have a question regarding the colors blending. It says, how can I avoid the colors blending when printed? Any suggestions on how to make the colors bright, like the pictures?
Yes, so you can actually go in. One second, let me just, I didn't send it to printer. I'm sorry, I was talking while I was doing that. And no, it's okay. I'm not very good at that, but let's grab that real quick and I'll show you how that 2021 will look. All right, so it's hard to see. I apologize for that, but you can kind of see it right there. It's centered down there. So again, this is why you want to practice on your paper first. But so I would recommend you can actually go over and print it more than once. So as long as you know exactly where you've started it, you know, and you keep your guide in the same place, you can just keep printing multiple times, and that can get you more, you know, saturation with the ink as far as the ink goes. So that's one tip for getting rich colors. All right, so let's add this into the hoop. One sec. Which oh my gosh, my hoop disappeared. All right, I thought I put it down here, but it is not there. Oh, there it is, there it is. Okay, all right. So you guys probably, if you haven't done embroidery, here's a quick lesson in this. So this one goes behind, this one goes on top. And what I usually do is I usually align the top one first, and then you can slide that bottom one under, but we're in a time crunch here. And you can take a white, clean, high polymer eraser and erase that pencil line that I drew on my fabric. Okay, so that will help. Hold on. Let's put that in there. All right. So you get the idea, and then you tighten that up and make sure that this is facing at the top. This part is up at the top, aligned with the top there, which I didn't do. All right. Anyway, you're going to get yours nice and centered. And then I'm just going to use that as my guide. And I used these cute colors. They're sort of softer and more vintage for the red and the green. You can get more complicated and do more colors. It's really up to you. And now here's my embroidery needle. Okay, and then you're just going to go ahead and start stitching. I like to do one color at a time and then move to the next one. And you're just going to do an outline if you want. I did outline of the berries and outline of the leaves, and then just followed these for stitching. Okay, and then I usually just, you know, let that sit there and then just start going and kind of hold that with my finger as it goes. And then to cover the back, I used some white felt. Okay, and just traced around the hoop and just glued that down with some fabric glue. I glued some ribbon down with some fabric glue and then tied some string. Now for washing this, what I did is I literally just put it under the sink in some warm water and just kind of went like that with the fabric, and it was gone. So that's really easy to get rid of that template that you have there once you've finished you know, stitching. And so that's kind of a fun ornament. So that's the idea with that. Okay. Any other questions?
Yes. We have a question. How big can you make the wording in inches?
Okay, so the maximum height is about 5/8 of an inch. Okay, so that's as tall as you can go. And then the length is like unlimited. You can make it as big as you want. Let me go back in here and I'll show you how to extend that canvas. So you just hit canvas and then you drag it out. If you have problems doing that, here's a tip. You can select objects or select pan view, and that kind of helps you get that right there. And also sometimes if I let my finger sit there for a second, there we go. It's just a matter of getting your finger in the right spot. You can also zoom out. So if you want to make it even bigger, you can zoom out and then you can see. Now, honestly, you could keep going, but you're going to have to eventually just slide that around. You're not going to be able to see the whole canvas at once. So you can make it as big as you want, honestly. And then if you use the repeatable printing feature, it just goes and goes and goes. If you use infinity, as long as your hand moves, it will keep printing. So any other questions?
It looks like that was it.
That's
Thank you so much.
Great. And We Are Memory Keepers has a great customer service department. So they're always happy to answer questions. It's info@americancrafts.com. That's on the PrintMaker website. There's a direct link to contact them. There's also lots of videos on our YouTube channel. There's that whole user manual. I recommend, guys, if you're going to spend the money to get a piece of tech like this, like you would with a phone or any other device, please spend the time to read the entire manual. That will make a big difference as far as, you know, eliminating frustration when you use this. Also on Facebook, there is a PrintMaker group, WRMK PrintMaker. There is a ton of information available there. We have a wonderful fan. Her name is, oh gosh, it's escaping me right now. Rebecca Mesa, and she runs that PrintMaker group for us. And she does, well, it's her own thing. She did it of her own will. We don't pay her, you know, we're not involved in it other than we go in and answer questions and provide information. And also when you sign up for the app and you put your email in there, we send out email updates if there's any information that we need to send out. So lots of helpful options, resources available so that this experience is good for you. And just remember, it's a piece of technology, just like any printer you would buy, any laptop, any phone, any tablet. So there's sometimes a little bit of a learning curve. You know, if you're really tech savvy, great. If you're not, just be patient and keep working at it and head to that Facebook group and we'll help you out. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. I love this machine. It is amazing. It has changed how I craft. It's just, and it's great for anything, honestly. All right. Thanks so much, you guys. I hope you have a great day. Happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye.